Hello, all my bottoms up babes. This is your soul master, Carrie, taking the messiness in life, mixing it up, finding the message, and serving it to you straight. Because healing isn't linear, it's layered, and sometimes the breakdown is just the beginning of your breakthrough. Here, we honor the ache, speak the life into silence, and give the broken pieces a place to belong. This is the space where truth meets tenderness, where your story is sacred and your scars are seen. So breathe deep, open up, listen up, and let the healing begin.
I grew up seeing domestic violence, and so some of that was normal for me.
I laid on the ground to shield my face from him, and he stomped me.
Punches in the face, throwing me down the stairs. He left me on the side of the road for dead.
Domestic violence. We're sharing stories from survivors, uncovering the heart behind the headline.
Extreme emotional and mental abuse on a daily basis.
2 black eyes, 1 closed eye, and I was the one to go blind in 1 eye.
He would throw food at me. He would be verbally abusive.
They've turned their pain into purpose.
I'm not defined by what happened to me, and that I'm nothing that he tried to convince me I was.
I get to be an advocate for others. You can do this. You will do this.
My life now is an advocate. Every time that I speak, I know I'm saving somebody's life.
Today, there's hope in my life.
This place has brought me back and saved me in more ways than I could ever describe. Testing myself, pushing myself, it builds you, right? Like it shapes you, and getting through what I went through, I can get through anything.
My name is Jamie Miller. I'm a domestic violence survivor, a mother, and an MMA fighter. We were together for 6.5 years. We met when I was living in Cincinnati at the time, where some of my family members lived there. We met through the MMA community. He was also a fighter. You're like, wow, this is awesome. And I kind of got hooked right away. He was very charismatic. I experienced extreme emotional and mental abuse on a daily basis by him, physical abuse, and that actually happened early on outside of our gym, of all places. I grew up seeing domestic violence, and so I guess some of that was normal for me. It was like, okay, well, this is what a relationship looks like. And when he proposed, it actually came after a night where he hurt me. It started from an argument we were having. I was cornered, so I wasn't able to get away from him, but it resulted in me getting body slammed by him. I'm pregnant, knocked the wind out of me, and I had nobody. And I remember calling my mom when that happened, and I didn't tell her. And she had no idea what I had just experienced. And then the following day, there was no apology. There was nothing. He just randomly proposed to me, and I'm thinking like, this is crazy. But I said yes, because I was afraid to say no. What brought us to Philly was he had a job offer, and I loved it. It was a bit of a culture shock, and I thought maybe this is what we needed. You know, the baby's coming, we could start new. I'm feeling during this argument that it was going to escalate. I could just feel the energy, and I was like, I need to get away from him. He literally punched a door, and so that forced the door open so hard, like it smashed into my head, hit my stomach, and I was cut and bleeding on my head, and I just was like in shock, scared, obviously terrified, and he just had like a emptiness in his eye, you know, like just, it was dark, it was just, he was in a rage. When my daughter came, she was definitely my safe, happy place. What happened was, so like as time went on, my daughter's getting older, things are still happening. So throughout our entire relationship, like He would do things to show that he's in control. He would do things like smash things. He would, any cell phone I ever owned, he would smash. He threatened me after like yanking my head, and then we're having this like disagreement, or basically just me defending myself. He had said if my daughter was not awake, he'd punch my effing teeth out. As we were playing a game, and we'd take some toys over by like the front door, so that when they came, we could just like jet. It felt like 30 seconds when we started hearing the knocks at the door. He looks out front, sees the police, and as soon as I heard the first knock, I opened the door. As we're running down the hallway out of the apartment, he's coming after us, like running after us, and then when the door opened, the police were guns drawn, telling him to stop, get back. And I always tell people that it felt like we were being just lifted out on a cloud, was how safe I felt. He filed for an emergency return of our daughter. He made everybody think that like I had kidnapped her, that she was in this like immediate danger, which she was not. All that was proven wrong in court, but at that court hearing, the judge said, well, would you like to relocate? Yes. Well, in that case, the child has to stay in Philadelphia until the next hearing. That was like 6 months away. So I had nowhere to go. And he was refusing us back into the house, that like, you don't live there, like your name's not on the lease, all of these things that were like, everything was working in his favor. He squats down and starts using his forearm to try to smash my head into the step. And I was just like begging for him to stop, and start making my way back to the police station. And I get there, I start explaining to them what happened, and then they get a 911 call from him saying I pushed him down the steps and that he had injuries, corroborating his story. And I knew instantly that obviously I did not do that, but if he had injuries, I knew that he most likely harmed himself. Even though I'm like handcuffed to a chair and it's like cold and like everything had just gone through, I felt so relieved because she had domestic violence posters like plastered everywhere. After that PFA hearing, got the call that I had a bed at the Safe Haven, that they finally had room for me. So it was just like amazing feeling. I get there and I remember the intake lady, Miss Rose, was waiting for me, and she was like, she's like, oh, are you Jamie? And just hugged me I just cried like for what felt like an eternity, but she held me there, and I finally just felt like I was gonna be okay. Thank God. I mean, Women Against Abuse offers, free legal services, obviously like your essentials, your day-to-day everything. So I was so supported in so many ways. Let's do this. Yeah, it's a good reminder of like, dude, you're badass, yeah. Part of taking my life back meant doing things that I wasn't allowed to do for so many years, and everything that I loved, training, fighting, martial arts, that was like my love. Stepping back on the mat for me was just like wow, like it was incredible. The more I saw him, the more I'm like, you're just this tiny man, like you're nothing to me, Get a call from King of the Cage at the time, and they're like, hey, we need, a replacement for this title fight. I hadn't fought in several years.
Overhead right, or it's over!
Yeah, I just threw a right hand out and it landed right on the button, and she fell and knocked her out cold. 4th round of a title fight, yeah.
Your new strawweight champion.
It just solidified, just validated who I am as a person. I'm not defined by what happened to me and that I'm nothing that he tried to convince me I was. Officially, I'm an advocate now and a board member for Women Against Abuse, which is an incredible accomplishment in of itself because I'm actually the first former client survivor to be considered for the board in 40 years. A lot of my work is now just filling in the gaps and helping other people navigate their situations. I'm Jamie Miller. My life now is beautiful. It is impactful and filled with love.
My name is Shonda. I am a domestic violence survivor, mother, grandmother, and advocate. The cycle is like when you haven't really completely healed and then you repeat the cycle of attracting abusive people in your life. As a child, my first experience of violence, it was at the hands of my stepfather. I would receive extreme verbal abuse, beatings. I was beaten naked. I was molested also by him. That was my first experience with domestic violence. My deepest regrets with it is that I just was silent about it. I was 17 when I first left home. It seemed like everything was good and happy, and then there was the turn. He beat me up with his hands, his fists, physically. He was verbally abusive, burned me with a curling iron. And I think when I had enough of it with him is when I had the two black eyes, one closed eye, and I was the one to go blind in one eye. So I met someone else, and that person nearly killed me. He started out okay, and what he would do was he would bully my son when I wasn't home. He then beat me up. The last night that I was with him, what he ended up doing was beating me up from the bedroom to the living room where I was trying to get out of the apartment. He continued to punch on me, beat on me till blood was gushing. I thought I was going to die. Unfortunately, I married an abuser. He was verbally abusive, physically abusive. I reached out to Women Against Abuse when I was trying to get away from my husband. They were good for me as far as separating from him. My life now as an advocate is the light of my life because I know that each day or every time that I speak, I know I'm saving somebody's life. You just had to reach out for help because somebody is going to want to help you. My name is Shonda. My life is hope, joy, and life.
I am Danielle. I'm a domestic violence survivor. I'm a mother of 4, and I'm an advocate. So I met my partner when I was 12. I lived next door to his aunt. He was 10 years older than me. The abuse started when I was pregnant with our second. So my first child is not his. He would throw food at me. He would be verbally abusive. It escalated from there. Punches in the face, throwing me down the stairs, breaking things. He even drowned me in a bathtub one time in front of my son on his 5th birthday. Drugs started to become an issue in my life when I was put in the hospital by my partner. They prescribed me pain medication, which led me down a rabbit hole. And he came rushing at me, and he left me on the side of the road for dead. I became homeless for 6 years. I started to take his abuse out on myself. I became a prostitute. I became a drug addict. I didn't know that there was services that helped. I didn't know that there was people like Josie. I didn't know that there was people like Danielle. I didn't know that there was places like this that helped people like me. I'm very blessed. My story has a happy ending. Thank God, because it could have ended a lot worse. I love to volunteer here. This is my favorite thing. I see so much potential in our clients. So when I look at another addict or a person who's been through anything that I have, I see myself. I'm talking to me. Like, you can do this, you will do this, you have potential. I am Danielle, and today I am no longer hopeless. Today there is hope in my life. I see my children. I get to be an advocate for others. I couldn't ask for more in my life.
3 stories of 3 amazing women, beautiful souls that just believed that love was a sacrifice, just like myself. And if you're one of them, there is hope. There is a way out. You just have to be the one to make the changes, to start living life the way that you deserve. Don't allow the past to define you, and don't allow your current situation to destruct you. It's time that you make the moves and discover you.